Hello friends! If you recently saw the news that the Hollywood blockbuster Dune Part 2 was filmed on rehouses from the Ukrainian company IronGlass and you don't know anything about it, then this review is for you. In short, rehouse companies are engaged in the processing of vintage photo lenses to meet modern film requirements, in some places improving optical and mechanical properties. If you have ever heard the word rehouse for the first time, and it seems to you that the recycling of photo optics is a no-no, and we only need modern cine lenses, so I can assure you that companies such as ARRI, Canon, Panavision have been engaged in the conversion of photographic lenses to meet film requirements since the distant 1970s. So back to Dune. This film was shot on the Rehouse ARRI Movicam or Vinja Olympus and the Soviet Rehouse by Irun Seat MK. What is the difference between Rehouse mods? This will be the next video. And now I will answer a few questions that we are asked very often. These are not new lenses that were created based on vintage motifs. These are exactly those old lenses, but they have been very much mechanically redesigned. Optically, this is the same Helios that may be lying around in someone's closet or still at some old man's in the market. And here the main difference is, so what to pay for? This is the kind of money when you can kind of buy that lens for 200 UAH. Let's figure it out. Let's say you find the original Helios or any other Soviet lens in some condition. The first thing you need to pay attention to is how this lens looks on enlightenment, which is the state of the optics, because there can be delamination of gluing, there can be fungus, all kinds of dust. And of course, a lot of traces from when we wipe it with a sleeve, t-shirt or other means that are not advised. It all leaves its mark. Next is the mechanical condition. The lens may be mechanically damaged and therefore will have to be repaired, or maybe it will go to the trash or for parts, as I was told at one of the rentals. It's just a job to lubricate an old lens in good condition. Just to make an audit, it's worth it 1500 UAH. It can often cost more than the cost of this lens. If you say you can buy a lens in good condition on OLX or eBay, I have to disappoint you. The majority of the ads you see are from resellers, and they hardly ever show you pictures of lenses lit from behind to check their optical condition. They take great photos, but you won't discover the optical condition until after you've bought it. So you shouldn't dream about buying this lens for 100, 200 or 100 hryvnia. Even my grandfather at the market knows the price of these lenses. Now let's assume you already have a lens in good condition. Here's the thing, in the Soviet Union, the defect rate was extremely high, which is why you often hear these lenses referred to as Soviet trash or some other similar term. And there might be some truth to that, because optically, two perfect lenses might in reality turn out to be one piece of soap and the other very sharp. And when you try, let's say in a rental place or at a friend's place who has original converted blue cherry house modes from IronGlass, you'll be very surprised by how Soviet lenses can perform. Let's calculate the cost options if you want to gather hay. Mod Sami. You will need some kind of normal adapter because a very cheap Chinese one, it will give you backlash and unpleasant jokes. One of them will be waiting for you when you put the lens on your camera. Screw it here. Any ring for the focus motor, start twisting and your lens will stupidly unscrew from the adapter. And God grant that you see it in time and not when the lens is already on the floor. You can of course choose options for rubber gears, but the quality will not always suit you, of course. You can 3D print gears, but if you don't have a 3D printer and you're not a print engineer, then it will take some time to choose the height of the gears, the thickness of the plastic, the quality of the plastic, so that you didn't have to pull out the teeth when you turn the motor. But in order to put filters of the same diameter for all your lenses, you will need a step ring. You can also buy the cheapest step-up ring for something 10, 20 cents or 50 cents on AliExpress. But I'll warn you that the filters in that adapter will be very biting and sometimes it can get stuck and you have to take out your expensive filter pliers, So I advise you to buy only normal expensive step rings and normal caps for them. Do not those plastic ones there for 5 UAH. Well, I'm sorry, this whole set will cost you much more expensive, and you will save on caps for 5 UAH, which is random in a backpack. It will bounce off and scratch itself against something later. So we'll get standard caps, and such a set will average at around $50, which may come as a surprise because the lens could have been bought cheaper. Now let's take gears. Typically they cost around $25. And usually no one in Ukraine sells them. You have to get it from overseas, from France, from America, or somewhere else. Plus you have to pay for shipping. And if there are several of these gears, the total will exceed $150. And you will also have to pay customs duty. Any decent adapters will cost you around $20 to $30 on average. Compared to IronGlass, you get standard caps, and there's also a metal hood included. And all the gears are made of aluminum. This is significantly better than any plastic or rubber. Plus, the lens is mechanically restored. It is blurred, and optically it is in very perfect condition. You may often not see the lenses in the store in this condition. Additionally, the lens from IronGlass can be equipped with a large number of options, such as internal color enlightenment, anamorphic modification, improved enlightenment, multi-lobe diaphragm. Not on all lenses, but on some of it will be a very cool effect, as well as many options. Mount on your cameras. If we calculate the difference in the time spent on assembling it ourselves and just open it, see that, for example, the same Helios can cost $200. And of course, at first the price will seem high, but the price of the entire configuration, plus you need it, someone has done it. If you can't do it yourself, or if you're a girl and if you want to take a lens and take pictures, well, I'm sorry, it's free for you. Almost no one will do it. They let you down. Summary, I can say that it's actually not a very big price if you're doing commercial shooting. And if you are only engaged in experiments or just learning how to shoot videos, then you don't really need all the pieces. And you can basically take the original Helios and don't spend money on everything else. But if you're unlucky with an instance of the same Helios or any other Soviet lens, then you will just have the opinion that Soviet lenses, these are very bad lenses. If you want unique drawings, I advise you to take a closer look at vintage lenses in general.